eliminated by Corbin.
Yeah.
So I really like that. And then,
hey, you know what? Talking about it with you right now, I just realized so far, Sheamus has eliminated a guy, Styles eliminated a guy, and Riddle eliminated a guy. And I wonder now, did each guy walk away having eliminated one of the team members from SmackDown?
I think so, because I think Strowman eliminated Otis. And, spoilers for the rest of the match, Keith Lee ends up eliminating Uso.
Isn't that wild? Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
So they gave each man a bit of something to work with,
Mm-hmm. I was really glad that Keith Lee got the final one.
Yeah.
They say in the Rumble, you want to either be the first one out or the last one out. It don't actually matter what happens in the middle.
Yeah.
People remember the first one and the last one.
Yeah. I will say this match did get a bit confusing at times because it was difficult to tell who was the legal man at one point,
Agreed.
I think once Corbin and Owens got eliminated, I think that's when it really became difficult to tell because at one point I think Riddle was in, but then they said Sheamus was the legal man, but then we never saw Sheamus tag out, and then next thing you know, I think Styles or Strowman was the legal man in, so it was like, I really got confused there.
I almost think there's some rule I'm semi-aware of, where if everyone spills out, I don't know, someone could just jump in and become the legal man. I don't think that's true, but you kind of saw something where you kind of saw the action happen as if it does exist, that rule.
Yeah.
Well, just throw somebody in there.
Yeah. But overall, it was kind of decent for the most part. It was tough to see SmackDown get swept.
Swept, it's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get it. It really made Raw seem strong, but then it also made you look at SmackDown and really said, "Man, is that really the best SmackDown had to offer?"
Yeah, I know. 100% get what you mean. And I didn't see it. Did you? The pre-show? The Battle Royale?
Yeah.
Who in the pre-show, Jack, would you have put on the SmackDown team instead of making them Battle Royale fodder?
Well, based on... again, it made me kind of sad because I did watch that Battle Royale. I tuned in just in time to watch it.
Yeah.
It did make me sad to see... It made me happy to see the shine that they were giving Gable at the finish of the Royale against Dominic, letting the two of them go, and it was really demonstrating, hey, Chad Gable is like a legit amateur wrestler, he has this background, and it helps him when he's in the ring, But it also made me sad because, barely anyone's seen this because it's on the pre-show,
Mm-hmm,
So I think he could have been a good addition. A good addition that only showed up for an entrance later on in the show. Big E wasn't on the SmackDown team.
I read an article today that said because SmackDown was going to get swept, they kept Big E off that match. Yeah. They didn't want him to be there and incur that loss.
Yeah, once I learned that, once I saw that they were swept, I was like, okay, it's a good thing they kept Big E off the team. Because I don't think any amount of, sequences and, all these big moments really could have kind of helped them from the fact that, SmackDown still got swept and no one eliminated anyone on Raw's side.
Yeah.
But it was still pretty interesting,
Very, very. It's not going to compel me to tune in to either show.
Yeah.
Which I feel like this company needs to refocus on.
Yeah. And I feel like if they just kind of merged the brands, it would really help,
Mm-hmm.
Especially for the next match, the Raw Tag Team Champions versus the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. The New Day versus the Street Profits.
That's right.
Yeah. And I say they would benefit from merging the two rosters because, you look at both tag teams are really talented and you think, man, you would think one or the other would be challenging for a singular belt, but no, both are champions because they have them split on brands,
And they're both the top of their divisions, but it's not saying a lot when you really think about it for too long.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. But they're two really exciting teams that both got fairly noteworthy entrances.
Yeah.
Tell us about the New Day, Jack.
So, for those of you who don't know, the New Day were recently added to Gears of War 5. They were the three of them were added in as themselves and voiced their characters and everything. So the New Day come dressed out essentially how their characters look in game.
Giant battle gear, giant pauldrons, chest plates, leg, you know what I mean?
Leg
they were
armor.
mechs. They were walking mechs.
Yeah.
And this is where I had to explain to my dad, one, who the New Day are, and two, what Gears of War was.
Yeah. And then, I really enjoyed it. I was like, man, that's a really cool way. I mean, the New Day just know how to make matches feel important, even if it's just with their entrance. The one thing that did confuse me, though, is that Big E comes out, but that was all we saw for Big E. Was just him in the entrance.
He's a SmackDown guy, so, I guess they excused him from ringside. It's funny. It's one of those things where if we were more old school, it would be easier to explain off. Oh, he's not a manager. He doesn't have his manager license. Yeah. Something I was reminded existed in the Paul Bearer documentary. And that's what you'd say. You'd say, oh, yeah, no, go in the back, man. Go to the locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really neat to see them together. It was super neat to see that gear.
Yeah.
And wasn't this funny, Jack? Did you notice? Did you catch why Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins of the Street Profits got to say what they said in their promo before their music?
I know a lot of what they said, but I don't think I caught anything that, I don't think I caught that.
Well, I realized that they got the chance to speak because they gave New Day a chance to get out of that gear.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't have to see them on camera taking it all off. So we got about 3 or 4 minutes of the Street Profits speaking highly of The Undertaker and saying that while one legacy ends that night, a new one starts for the Street Profits. And at this point, my dad decides who he's rooting for because he goes, these guys got a ton of energy. Whoa, those other guys, they're older, right? They've been around for longer. These guys, they're going to win. Yeah. It's fun to hear.
And if that promo wasn't enough, they also ran the Gears commercial to give them even more time,
Yeah.
Which it was really awkward because they did it in the middle after the New Day made their entrance. But it makes sense with such big gear, they needed a lot of time to get it off. But yeah, that Street Profits promo was very entertaining.
Oh, and so it's even funnier, right? Because Dad, he's seen wrestling before last night. So when I asked each of them, my brother and my dad, who's going to win, my dad had this funny moment where we found ourselves in constantly. He goes, "I want to go for the younger guys." He says, "But these guys are promoting a video game. Shouldn't they win if they're going to promote a video game?"
Yeah, definitely. That's a lot of that's pretty on point with how WWE books a lot of things at times.
Exactly.
But so, what did you think of the match?
Oh, it was just as compelling and exciting as I would hope from the two teams, for sure.
Yeah, when my dad and I were discussing and talking about, again, like how I mentioned in the beginning, there wasn't really any anticipation. My dad kind of joked around, was like, man, what is there to look forward to, other than the Undertaker thing? And I go, well, you have the New Day versus the Street Profits to look forward to, especially seeing as how little matches are announced. They're going to give time to that match.
Exactly. This is one that, even though it didn't have a lot of build, didn't need that build.
Yeah.
The build was kind of just implicit in their characters. Out with the old, in with the new. Were we going to see a bit of a torch pass to them? Angelo Dawkins made it very clear to us all. They weren't going to wait for that torch to be passed. They're going to take it.
Yeah. Oh, man. And then another thing I really loved was, and the announcers played it up really well too, they started working Montez's core. And, you think about it, you're like, well, why would they be working the core? Typically in wrestling matches, you see more so the working of the arm, the leg, the ankle.
Uh-huh.
But the announcers really did a good job explaining this. They said they're targeting the core because Montez relies so much on it, with a lot of his explosive moves, especially the frog splash. You damage his core, he's not going to have that energy to get as high as he does, to have as much impact as he does.
Agreed. And I'll shout the commentary team out here as well, because the New Day go for the midnight hour, and it doesn't put the team away. He kicks out at 2. And the biggest reason why, commentaries say, well, without Big E playing his role in that move, it isn't as impactful because neither Kofi or Xavier Woods are as big and as strong as he is.
Yeah, I caught that too.
Ooh, that continuity, though.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah. And then I also loved, Montez really selling the injury and the real story of being like, it was very similar to I think it was their SummerSlam match against Garza and Andrade, where it was kind of the same story again of, Montez really needing to get Dawkins in because of his power, and his ability to overpower a lot of their opponents. Sure, Montez has the endurance and can really use these impactful moves, but he also needs the partner that he has in Dawkins, because Dawkins has the power that Montez sort of lacks in some aspects, And so Dawkins makes up for it. I get what you mean.
Yeah, no, definitely the bigger of the two, Montez Ford, definitely the agility of the. How about the Trouble in Paradise on Kofi Kingston?
Oh yeah,
the gall.
Yeah, I really love that too. I wrote this down too. A notable thing for me. I don't know if you saw it when Dawkins did that like spinning neck breaker when he got tagged in.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really interesting too. Like I've somewhat seen similar moves, but at the same time when I saw Dawkins pull it off, I was like, wow, that's pretty new. I don't think I've seen him really pull that off before.
I can't picture it, but I hear you. I feel you. I'm like excited to see these guys grow, especially him, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's definitely come the furthest because he had the furthest to go as far as his skills and performance go.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't know, that Dawkins had been with the company, dating back to NXT 2013 and maybe even further.
Absolutely.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when he won that title,
Montez Ford, it's a blessing. Nothing but a blessing.
Yeah, I mean, once he got paired with Montez, that's what helped him capture his first title in NXT back in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So he's definitely come the farthest. I think a lot up top there with a lot of other superstars. But yeah,
right.
That was really good to see. And going off of the whole thing, that commentary built up, about the midnight hour. Montez further selling, how they were targeting him. When he finally hits that frog splash, he isn't able to get the cover at first because of the amount of pain that they had already used on him, and it took up, a lot of energy, and it hurt him himself to hit that frog splash.
He hits it perfectly, but he cannot make the cover. It takes too long to get his arm over Kofi, it was. And that gave Kofi enough time to recover and kick out. That was real good.
Yeah.
But we've got, we found out who the better team was, at least last night, and it was the Street Profits.
Mm-hmm.
After a really cool double team move, I don't know the name of, but it essentially saw, was it Kofi? He's propped up on Angelo Dawkins' shoulders in an electric chair. Montez Ford does a front flip into a neck breaker, kind of like a stereo neck breaker, kind of. I don't know, a mega neck breaker. It was good. It looked good.
Yeah, I was surprised he was able to. I know Montez can get that high, but I was surprised he was able to do it in the sense that he was able to get high and then also get Kofi in for that neck breaker.
Right. Yeah. No, the guy's got to jump 10 feet off the ground, upside down, and position himself in a way where he can grab hold of Kofi's neck so they can fall synchronously at the halfway point of his trajectory.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Amazing.
Yeah, but that definitely was an amazing match for sure.
Yeah.
Are you doing? Yeah, but and really good match, and then we move on to another match which we've kind of seen before, but it's still always really good because you look at the two women involved and you know not only have you seen it a lot, which is kind of like the downfall of it a bit. It's like, okay, we've seen this a lot, especially over the summer,
right?
But like you at least knew it was going to be good, and it was Asuka versus Sasha Banks.
And, the circumstance